You load into zombies, and what is the first two things you see? Number one, the gun you're holding. Number two, the hands. And why do the hands look like this when your model looks like this? Shino Numa and Darice both have models that look like this. But if you look closely, you can see their hands look completely different. Let's look at Nikolai's hands, and then Richtofen's hands, and even Dempsey and Takio. What do you notice? Dempsey's sleeves are rolled up. If you go into first person, your sleeves are not rolled up. What's with that? Okay, let's move on to another example. Richtofen. He's got black gloves on and a different color sleeve. Let's go into first person. No gloves, no beige color sleeves. What's with that? These weird differences also apply to Takio and Nikolai. And I already know what the comments are gonna say.
Well, back then, zombies were small and they didn't have enough of the budget.
Spare me the BS. I already know that they definitely had the money and the time. Call of Duty was making plenty of money back then, and it definitely had enough people to make a model for first person. Come on, you're telling me the team thought the hands you'll see for your entire game session in zombies shouldn't reflect the models you have in third person? Didn't have enough money to spare to make some models, but in multiplayer we have different hands. Oh, not enough money. More like they just didn't care. My theory is that since COD loves the multiple parallel universe and alternate timelines thing, it could be that in this universe is a universe that does not have matching hands to your body. To the person's eyes, their hands have looked like this since childbirth, and to others, their perspective, the third person perspective from another person, your hands will look according to your body. So no one in this universe really calls it out, since it doesn't look out of place to you or the person next to you, even the third person. Trippy, right? That's because it's one hell of a game theory. And you know what? No one could disprove it because there are so many alternate timelines and alternate universes in COD that this is completely possible. Let's fast forward to Black Ops 1, loading into Kino. We have brand new hands. But this only furthers my theory. The hands we see here are shaved hands with short sleeves. Meanwhile, Dempsey has rolled up sleeves. Unlike in first person, where the sleeve ends in the upper arm. Nikolai's hands are from the campaign with Reznov. Nikolai wears no fingerless gloves, and his sleeves aren't as puffy as in first person. Takio's hands have a bunch of bandages. On third person, he has 0 bandages. And lastly, Richtofen has a full-on hazmat suit in first person. Meanwhile, in third person, he doesn't have a hazmat suit on. And his gloves don't reach all the way up to his elbows. What does this mean? It
means you are not worthy. Which?
My theory has more evidence. Think about it. Even the models are somewhat different between games. Not to mention the hands. More parallel universes, more small differences, more evidence. And before you say,
well, they didn't have enough time or a budget,
I have more proof. Let's fast forward to Call of the Dead. What do you see here? Their hands reflect the person you're playing, both in first and third person, in the same game. What does this mean? Well, my theory craft here, we know that Call of the Dead isn't in a different timeline, but rather some point in the future. Maybe during this time, adaptation kicked in and people were born with the correct hands. Well, then you're gonna ask, how would the characters know that the characters didn't have the same hands? Well, they didn't, because you can't see it in third person or in another person's perspective. You can only see it through the first person perspective of your own perspective. What do you think about that? Now all the arms look like the arms in third person, except look at the CDC's hands. Do these arms remind you of something? What's going on here? Are these extended family of Richtofen? We will never know, but you cannot ignore the evidence in plain sight. How come they have the same exact hands as Black Ops 1 Richtofen? Something strange is going on here. Not only do the hands correlate with the people you're playing as, but the legs are also introduced. But why? How is it possible that in prior games the 1.0 characters have no legs and now they do have legs? Well, let's think about it. Black Ops 3 is in a different timeline than Black Ops 1, and when we replay the 1.0 story, we're playing it through the eyes of the Black Ops 3 1.0. So this means that 1.0's crew is the exact same crew as in Black Ops 1 crew, but with minor changes. So they're not exactly the same people. They're from another parallel universe. A parallel universe where everything's exactly the same, except that the crew has different hands and legs being visible to the character's perspective. And that only proves why the characters from Black Ops 1 and Call of Duty World at War don't acknowledge the fact that they don't have the same hands or legs, because each different universe, the characters' views have different perceptions of reality. So in Black Ops 3, the 1.0 crew has legs, so they're used to it. They don't mention it. They don't mention the fact that they randomly obtain legs because they're used to having legs, because the 1.0 crew of Black Ops 3 is not the same 1.0 crew of Black Ops 1, which isn't used to having legs. Which means my hand theory is only further supported by this fact, because those characters don't have the same hands than the third person, and that means that they're used to it. That's why they don't call it out. And before someone says,
No, that's not it.
well, how do you know that, huh? You watch what, 10 4-hour YouTube videos to figure out the story of the entire zombie timeline? You're telling me with all the mental gymnastics you have to do to understand those videos, you're telling me that this is impossible? Be real. Here, I have a good counter argument for you. How come PhD in Black Ops 1 doesn't appear in Black Ops 3? It's because it's not the same exact universe as in Black Ops 1, because that PhD ceased to exist in Black Ops 3 1.0 crew, which only further proves my point. Black Ops 4, the final game in the timeline, before it turned into whatever it is now, can see legs again. Why is that? I'll tell you why. Because with each different timeline, each character's new universe eyes work differently. That's why the graphics look different. That's why the arms look different. That's why everything changes. The graphics, the gameplay, the box, the characters randomly switching canon to non-canon, the characters randomly knowing how to slide again instead of dolphin diving, and they just forget completely how to dolphin dive. What are you gonna say, that they don't have enough budget this time? Come on, Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4, they had the hardware, the time, and the money. It's also why the games get worse and worse, because Treyarch, Activision, whoever owns Call of Duty now, are trying to show us what true alternate timelines are actually like. It's genius. It makes sense. Not every timeline is gonna be perfect like other time. Nah, I'm joking. Activision just forgot how to make good games. Just like how the zombies characters forgot how to dolphin dive. And that's nonsense.